Let's do this, y'all. Come on.
It is 96.5. It is Rapid.
Peace is actually a process, and don't forget that safety and security don't just happen. They are achieved as a result of individual and collective agreement, proactiveness, collaboration, and public investment.
Let's do this, y'all. Come on.
It is 96.5. It is Rapid.
The time is 7 o'clock. A very good evening to you and welcome to the news at 7 on Rapid 96.5 FM, the sound of your city. Today is Tuesday, the 16th of April, 2024. First, the headlines. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, warns satellite towns coordinator against negotiating with contractors. Abia State Environmental Protection Agency set for crackdown on refuse defaulters. Rapid Broadcasting Network Board names Gbemileke Oscar Onyinson as acting chief executive officer. And on the foreign scene, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky signs controversial law to boost conscription to fend off Russia's aggression. I am Moses Ben with the news. Details shortly.
Every day, every story. If it matters to you, depend on our news team to bring you the latest.
Welcome back. Now the news in full. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has warned the coordinator of Satellite Towns Development Department, Abdul Kadiri Zulkiflu, against negotiating with contractors. Wike, who gave the warning while inaugurating the coordinator in Abuja, advised the coordinator to view the appointment as an opportunity to contribute to national development, calling on Zulkiflu to effectively coordinate activities in the satellite towns as against sitting in the office and negotiating with contractors. He urged the coordinator to utilize the opportunity to achieve results and make the needed impact, pointing out the numerous ongoing projects in the satellite towns, saying that the FCT administration was working to ensure all satellite towns felt the impact of the government.
There's an improvement as at the last visit we made, and this visit today shows there's a lot of improvement. While the company has still maintained the fact that they are going to hand over by that May, ours is to hope on what they have said. They have to be committed to it. We don't have any doubt that they have the capacity to meet up the deadline. But as for the quality of job, of course, you can see the work according to the design and the specification. So we believe, by the grace of God, that something that will actualize.
Ahead of the People's Democratic Party National Executive Committee meeting scheduled for Thursday, April the 18th, a PDP support group known as PDP Restructure Movement has endorsed former Deputy Governor of Kogi State, Phillips Amaiza Salowu, as the next national chairman of the party. The group led by Issa Muazu said that in line with the principle of equity, justice and fairness, the chairmanship of the party should return to the North Central region for them to complete the truncated tenure of the former PDP chairman, Iyorchia Ayu. Muazu commended stakeholders whom a good conscience have been clamoring for reform of the party, including the resignation of the acting chairman, Umaru Damagum, to enable North Central assume the position zoned to them.
In addition, what we have called on the leadership of our great party, clothed with the powers to choose a replacement of Senator Ayu, is in line with the spirit and letters of the Constitution of the PDP as amended 2017. The plethora of precedents abound. In the NWC, as presently constituted, late Professor Stella Efia Ato, who was from the South Zone, across River State to be precise, was replaced within 4 months of her demise, may her soul rest in peace, with Amina Divine Arong as national women leader, who is also from South-South, precisely Cross River State again. Let me reiterate, at this point, the PDP national chairmanship today is occupied by the North Central Zone. It is therefore constitutional, logical, and incumbent on the National Working Committee to appoint a North Central candidate to complete the tenure of Dr. Yochiayu. It is therefore our firm position that the case of North Central cannot be different, and we strongly advise the leadership of this party not to play into the hands of external forces who have vowed to destroy this party.
Kano-based legal practitioner Wangida Issa says former state governor Abdullahi Ganduje should honorably resign as the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress till he clears the corruption allegations against him by the state government. Issa, who spoke on national television, said Ganduje has not been exonerated, as the court said he should be tried at a federal court because the money laundering offenses leveled against him by the state government was said to be a federal offense, describing the allegations against the ex-governor as heavy offenses. The lawyer said ward executives were legally empowered to sack any member of the party, dismissing claims that the New Nigerian People's Party (NNPP) orchestrated Ganduje's suspension through some APC executives at the ward level.
It's been long overdue. Going back to your question as to the issue of the allegation and then the ruling of the Federal High Court Kano, I think it is very important to look at, the contents or the wordings of the judgment of that court. There is nowhere the Federal High Court in Kano exonerated the former governor of Kano State or, refused or gave any order restraining the Kano State government from charging him for other allegations. When I went through the charges, I discovered that there are other charges that ordinarily were not brought up before the Federal High Court, and then the Kano State Anti-Corruption have, the jurisdiction to try him on those charges. And then even on the issue of the charges of the dollar, the ruling of the Federal High Court was very clear that this particular case, it is a case that should be tried at the Federal High Court. Okay, that is to say it is a federal offense, which, in any case, that does not mean that this man has been exonerated.
Sylvester Oromoni Sr., father of the late 12-year-old student of Dowen College, Lagos, Sylvester Oromoni Jr., has rejected the ruling of the coroner on the circumstances surrounding the death of his son. In response to the ruling, Oromoni Sr. expressed his dissatisfaction during an appearance on a national television program, while dismissing the coroner's decision as merely an opinion rather than a well-founded judgment. He emphasized that the ruling did not accurately reflect the evidence presented in court throughout the 2+ years of legal proceedings.
So the magistrate cried 5th time. He went to his about cleaning his face, came back again with tissue paper and started crying. So the question I'm asking is that this is somebody that was at the initial stage that there's no sentiment, there's no emotion when people were crying, seeing his videos in the court. He was the one crying while delivering his own judgment. That's one good time. That is one. Then 2, the judgment, I'm not a lawyer, but I go to court every day, does not represent the proceedings recorded, all the evidence taken from all the witnesses. Then let me ask, I sent this boy to Lagos State. I don't stay in Lagos. The principal of that school is the guardian of that board. The boy was taken that school for 3 to 4 days. They said they had a doctor. They did not take care of him. There was no referral note given to us.
The father's rejection of the ruling comes amid widespread public interest and scrutiny surrounding the tragic death of Sylvester Jr. The incident occurred on November 30th, 2021, sparking a lengthy legal battle and calls for accountability. As the case continues to unfold, the rejection of the coroner's ruling by Sylvester Oromoni Sr. may prompt further scrutiny and legal action, highlighting the complexities and challenges inherent in seeking accountability for such incidents. Abia State government has given roadside traders at the slums behind an old bicycle repairer at the back of Okigwe Park, Umuahia, 48 hours to vacate. Chairman, Abia State Harmonized Task Force and Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Prince Nwachukwu, disclosed this when he led the steering committee members of the Harmonized Task Force to the area. Addressing occupants of the slums and shops, as well as those doing businesses at the area, Nwachukwu noted that the government will commence demolition of the slums on Friday this week, explaining that the area will be cleared to accommodate all illegal motor parks around the Ishigate exit of Umuahia, the state capital.
Well, people are human beings and other than people will always want to do things according to the understanding. But I believe that the greatest asset for any society is leadership. When you find out that your leader is going in a particular direction and he's not compromising, it's a lot more difficult. His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Abia State, will do what he wants to do within that area because the state government has a picture of bringing in what we want to call a major bus terminal, transport terminal for the entire Umuahia, just like we're going to have in Aba. And so this activity today signposts the beginning of the clearing of those areas, and from there we'll have to go to the Okigwe Park to make sure that that place is enough for the vehicles we are moving in. And behind the Okigwe Park, you have a slum where they call bicycle shed and all that, which ought to have been demolished. Since 2020, the Abia State government had given them a quick notice, and today, out of the magnanimity of the Abia State government, we have to give them another warning, giving them 4 or 5 more days to clear the place so that our bulldozers can come in there and level the place and extend that park so that all the vehicles going outside of state from around this area can be loading there.
He warned the individuals working with the task force team not to sabotage the efforts of the current administration.
Well, people are human beings and other than people will always want to do things according to the understanding. But I believe that the greatest asset for any society is leadership. When you find out that your leader is going in a particular direction and he's not compromising, it's a lot more difficult for the followers to compromise. We have in Abia State today Dr. Alex Oti, a man who is not compromising. And then many of the lieutenants he got for himself, from the commissioners to every of the aide and the mayors, many people also will not compromise because they know that their leader is not compromising. Now, in that direction, by that narrative, I also believe that many of the operatives will also find it difficult to compromise because I'm not ready to compromise. What we want to do and achieve is for the good of the state, for the good of everybody who is part of this Abia State. There's nobody who will come to this market and tell me that it will be fine for people to be trading on the street, on the main road. It doesn't make sense. So we are not asking people not to trade, but please go to your market stalls and trade and leave the street so that people can come in and go out of the market. Anybody who is sabotaging that is not fit to live.
Also speaking, a member of the steering committee of the Harmonized Task Force and general manager of Umuahia Capital Development Authority, Kingsley Agomo, said that the present administration in the state had zero tolerance for the street trading due to the hazards associated with the practice, stressing that the traders will be moving out to a better place to enable government do what it intends to do to change the status of the state capital for good.
From Friday, bulldozer. I started the bulldozer. Friday, bulldozer. I be here. You will push one in on him. It does here. For the one ever come Madupi. And it does Abia. It does now. Abia na hey. Onyo la get tinaka. Ehun Abia de and then nigga one she get. Abalan she get. One gonna go she get. One gonna load motor she get. She get cash now Abia here. By next week, you got she get. You know she get goddamn mark. Eba government chop ali does go off mark. So biko I na you. Friday,
Abia State House of Assembly has screened and confirmed nominees of the Abia State Universal Basic Education Board, ASUBEP. During proceedings, agitations were raised by member representing Obingwa West State constituency, Erondu Uchenna, who noted that the nominations contradicted some sections of the law, noting that among the 5 nominees, no technocrat was nominated from Abia South and Obingwa. Speaking with journalists after the plenary, the Deputy Speaker, Okezi Merigini, noted that no section of the law was contravened, rather emphasis was placed on competence and merit, while advising the board to be all-encompassing in carrying out their assignment.
I did mention it at the plenary. No law was contravened, and it's one of those things we see. People will want to agitate from their home fronts, but the most important thing is that emphasis was placed on merit and competence, just as we saw by the contents of the resume of those appointed. So for the agitation raised, it is normal, but the important thing we need to take home is that Abia was considered in that appointment. Incidentally, it could seem as if I'm speaking because majority of 3 of the appointees were from my Abia Central Senatorial District. But if all of them were even from Abia South, I would have still said what I was saying because we have come to trust the discretion of the governor, His Excellency Dr. Alex Oti, and we've seen the caliber of people he's gathering to steer the different agencies and boards of this administration.
Speaking on the pedigree of the nominees, Majority Leader and member representing Issaquah State constituency, Okoro Uchenna Kalu, noted that all the members of the board are suitable for the position based on their record of achievement in the education sector.
It goes a long way to show that His Excellency never made any wrong choices. The capacity of the persons we met today, they proven beyond every reasonable doubt that they are most suitable for that position. We met individuals who have attained so much in their respective field of endeavors, and particularly in the academic world. And then, like the chairman herself, the chairman who was her nomination was approved today by the House, and then she's going through, who saw a woman who has actually excelled in times of academics environments. She has traveled wide, she has vast knowledge and experience. And then for us as a committee, we'll give it back to His Excellency for making these right choices. And
the House later adjourned to reconvene tomorrow, the 17th of April 2024, for further legislative business. As refuse begins to grow into mounds on the streets of Umuahia, the management of the Abia State Environmental Protection Agency, ASEPA, has launched a crackdown on anybody dumping refuse indiscriminately. ASEPA General Manager Ambrose Jonah, who disclosed this during a rally held in Umuahia, revealed the new allowed time for waste disposal in the state, now between the hours of 5 p.m. and 6 a.m. Jonah said people were now dumping refuse on the median or at unauthorized places in Umuahia, adding that the agency would arrest and prosecute defaulters in accordance with the law establishing the agency.
It is a partnership. We do our own part, they do their own. We've told them that dumping of refuse starts from 5 p.m. to 6 a.m. And as well, we as well beg them to help us keeping the environment clean. That is one. Another one which is very important is about all the other road users, those using keke and as well as public transport. We are trying to provide a waste bin for them. You can't just eat anything and throw anyhow. You eat, either you dump it in the waste bin or you drop it inside the keke or bus for sanity.
According to him,
we also have a
According to him, the public is notified by the new order that monitors have been instructed and empowered to embark on regular monitoring of all the streets, roads, and designated receptacles to ensure strict compliance.
Yes, we also have a monitoring team that works together with the Central Task Force. So whoever that is caught, honestly speaking, we don't the music. I advise the masses to help Dr. Alex Soti, help ASEPA by keeping the state clean.
Okuta Isieke Community Ibeko has staged a peaceful protest at Abia State Government House in Umuahia over the death of one Nigerian Air Force Tarmac 4 cadet, Emmanuel Onyemere in a hotel in Umuahia, the state capital. Armed with placards of various inscriptions, the protesters called for justice for their late son, calling on Governor Alex Oti to take over the matter and ensure justice is given to the family.
The information we got last week was that he came around during Easter period to pay his family a visit. And on Tuesday last week, a friend took him to Dam Great Hotels, where we got information that he was drowned in the pool. And we are here to present our grievances to the government, cover-ups here and there. And we are not happy because it's a big loss to us, to the community, to the state, to Nigeria at large. Therefore, we are asking that the government to come up and stand to make sure that justice prevails. That is the reason why we are here.
Dam Great question functional till now. Here mere a week today. Dam Great won't be the simple cause. If you know, say, or walk a cable, long one mad cable.
He wrote Obruni Lumuaya, I Burundi like makeup magazine. Money had a lily. I enjoy a near you, Juno Pocheta. Ne when I came out 2 weeks, and I say, Organi Buruwani. Bikono Wani Buruwani, I'll be behind.
On his part, Senior Special Advisor on Security Matters to the Governor of Abia State, McDonald Oba, promised that the government would carry out a proper investigation.
and we will take measures to brief His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Abia State, on the matter. Whatever has happened, we leave it for God, but investigations will be carried out to ensure that there are perpetrators of this act. It will be unraveled and justice will be seen to be done. This incident has caused other ripples of effect thereafter. So I enjoin you to remain law-abiding until we revert the outcomes of the investigations.
This is coming after the Nigerian army has ordered an immediate investigation into the death of the manager of a hotel in Umuahia, the capital of Abia State, who was reportedly tortured to death by some military personnel following the drowning of a cadet in the facility's swimming pool. Board of Rapid Broadcasting Network, owners of Rapid 96.5 FM and Rapid TV, has announced the appointment of Gbemileke Oscar Oyinson as its new group acting chief executive officer. Oyinson is a seasoned broadcast journalist with over 20 years of professional experience across local and international organizations. He has an in-depth knowledge of the media business and a desire to continue the pathway to growth and development, and will also be among the youngest broadcasters to run a national media company in Nigeria at this time, which fits seamlessly with the company's core values of promoting young, talented youth in the workspace. In addition to Oscar Oyinson's extensive experience in the media, he brings forward a wealth of experience in not just broadcast industry, but leadership capabilities. However, his appointment takes effect May the 1st, 2024. You are still listening to Rapid 96.5 FM News at 7. Up next is foreign, business, and sports stories. Please do well to stay with us.
Every day, every story. If it matters to you, depend on our news team to bring you the latest.
Welcome back. Now the rest of the news. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has signed a controversial law after it was passed by parliament, potentially helping Kyiv to boost conscription to replenish depleted forces to fend off Russia's continued aggression. The mobilization law, published on Ukraine's parliamentary website, is expected to take effect in a month and make it easier to identify every draft-eligible man in the country. Many have dodged conscription by avoiding contact with authorities. In business, federal government paid about 205 billion naira as electricity subsidy in the third quarter of last year. The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission third quarterly market report revealed the government incurred a subsidy obligation of about 205 billion naira in 2023 quarter 3, which is an increase of 69 billion naira compared to the 135 billion naira incurred in 2023 quarter 2. This increase in subsidy payment, according to the report, was largely attributable to the government's policy to harmonize exchange rates due to the absence of cost-reflective tariffs across all electricity distribution companies' discos. In sports, the 2024 Federation Cup draw will be held in Abuja. The draw ceremony will be held at the Nigeria Football Federation office in Abuja, according to the acting director of competitions, Ruth David, and expected to kick off at 2 p.m. The State Federation Cup finals were completed last weekend, with Rivers United claiming a 2-0 win over Afrima. The National Federation Cup is expected to be played on a knockout basis. Bendel Insurance is the defending champion of the competition. Before we go, a recap of the top stories. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, warns Satellite Towns Coordinator against negotiating with contractors. Abia State Environmental Protection Agency set for crackdown on refuse defaulters. Rapid Broadcasting Network Board names Gbemileke Oscar Oyinson as acting chief executive officer. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky signs controversial law to boost conscription to fend off Russia's aggression. And that was the news at 7 on Rapid 96.5 FM. For news coverage and eyewitness report, kindly send a message to our hotline on WhatsApp 0704 9220-965 or send an email to news@arubianradiotv.com. This news was packaged by Kingsley Onwuka. I am Moses Ben saying thank you so much for your time. Good evening.
Every day, every story. If it matters to you, depend on our news team to bring you the latest.